Welcome back.
Oh, welcome back, Detroit Lions fans. Welcome to Luke G's Fair Review, aka the DSA Roundtable for your Detroit Lions with our special guest, Rage MK, our residential Green Bay Packers subscriber. Detroit Lions lose 23-22. Now, let me be very clear about this, ladies and gentlemen. You are not going to like Luke G's take because Luke G got a lot to say.
Facts.
And before Luke G even get into it, we're going to do some introductions. First off, we're going to start off with the man who gets the best introductions of all time, Mr. Micro Mike. What it do?
What's going on, fellas? What's going on, fellas?
All right. Next up, we have ourselves CA3 Sports Talk. What's going on, Carl?
What's up, man? That was a tough pill to swallow, man.
All right. Then we have ourselves the Heart of the City, a.k.a. 313 J-Mo. What up, though?
What up, man? I'm only going to be here for a second.
Yeah, I can't even hear you, J-Mo. I don't know what's going on with your mic again, but it's really, really low. So if you can hear me, see if you can take care of it, then I hold you tight right here. Then we have our residential guy, Rage MK. What's going on, man? What's going on, man? Green Bay win?
Man, it don't matter, bro. It's a certain standard that I like for my team to live up to, and they didn't. So we'll get into it though. We'll get into it.
All right. Well, listen, man. I'm you know what? I'm gonna do it a little bit different because I want to make sure that I'm being fair. Okay. I'll let me just start this off real quick, people. Y'all gonna think Lou G crazy, but I'm not blaming the referees for this one. Nope. Was there some bad calls that gave them some life down the stretch? Yeah. Horrible calls. Absolutely.
Yep.
But it was too much that happened before there. So much that I had to write it down. Let me start off with the first part, and I'm gonna try to work my way back to the beginning. When was Matt Patricia gonna call a timeout? Was it when it was 4 minutes on the clock, or was it when he decided to see if he can play? Let's get him off the field before they kick the game-winning field goal. Let's talk about that, okay? Before we get there, why is it funny to me that all I kept hearing from dumb people is how great Tavon Wilson is? But all their big plays came on who? Tavon Wilson. All I kept hearing is Tavon Wilson can't see the team. He had 10 tackles. That's what they say. They even say your favorite YouTube say he'll a tick. You wonder why I call Tavon Wilson a tick? Go and look at the plays. Every big play they got damn near came on Tavon Wilson. Okay? Everyone. You want to tell me that it's the referees? Tell me where was the referees at when TJ Hockenson dropping touchdowns in the end zone? When Kenny Galladay dropping first downs on the sideline? Where was the referees at when we keep running inside dives and zone runs up the middle? You want a fun fact for you, ladies and gentlemen? Here go the first fun fact, okay? All right. The first fun fact is this, all right? The Detroit Lions ran a first stretch play, picked up 8 yards. The second time they ran a stretch play, they picked up 6 yards. The third time they ran a stretch play, they picked up 5 yards. You know how many yards they picked up the middle? 1.4. But we gonna blame the refs, huh? Nope. Not blaming the refs on this. This is on the offense. This is on the head coach. This is on the offensive coordinator. Put together a game plan that can put some points on the board. They needed one touchdown to close the game out. And we couldn't get it. We couldn't get one touchdown. But we're going to turn around as fans and we're going to blame the refs. Well, you know what? They had some bad calls too. Green Bay, it wasn't like Green Bay didn't get some bad calls. They got some bad calls too. And I know we got some too. But at the end of the day, our offense didn't score enough points. Period. That defense went out there and played their butt off. They run out there and they get turnovers, they get stops, they get off the field, and we get field goals. That's not on the referees. That's not on the referees. That's on the Detroit Lions. That's when the media has the right to say same old Lions. When you can't close out a drive, that's on the Detroit Lions. That's not on the referees. When you get to the red zone as many times as they get and you walk away with 4 field goals, that's not on the referees. That's on the Detroit Lions. So before y'all come in here, tell me how great, tell me how great Tavon Wilson is. You know, spare me that. For you want to blame the referees, spare me that. Okay? All right? This is a bunch of BS. And I don't want to. There goes Mobby called it. He balled out. He balled out. Anybody who knows football, please explain to the people who believe that there goes Mobby called it out right when he says, because somebody came in here, I can't even see the name, I ain't even finna go back and look at it. They just said that he said he balled out. He balled out. He didn't even want to tackle Jamal Williams. Like Jamal Williams was taking his lunch money and giving it to his mama. I don't want to hear about the referees. Now, I'm going to pass it over to you, Mike, because I'm a little ticked off. I'm not buying this. It ain't no referees. It's dive plays. It's poor preparation on offense, and it can't keep happening. Mike, the floor yours.
Now I'm going to take this into a different take. I'm not just going to talk about Lions. I'm not going to talk about the game that we just saw. I'm going to take a macro look at this because this has been an issue that's coming for years when it comes to officiating. Look, accountability throughout the NFL is apparent when it comes to players. Players get suspended for smoking marijuana, when they're taking painkillers for their pains. Okay, I get it. People in the office of the leagues get accountability if they drink and drive, this, that, and the other off-field issues. Accountability even comes, even though for the owners it's a lot less. My thing is when it comes to the referees, there needs to be accountability, same as for the players. If you're having a poor performance, whether it be this game or another game, there needs to be accountability, and either you lose your job or you get suspended for blatant bad calls. This is for the NFL itself. This is not an excuse. This is fact. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. If I was to be at work and I was to perform poor, I'm going to get in trouble with that. And same with the Lions offense. We perform poor by getting field goals instead of touchdowns. Bull crap. They should have definitely punched it in there. We had 3 turnovers on games. It's very rare to have 3 turnovers and lose a game. I don't understand what I've seen when it comes to this pass rush. We've seen it a little bit, but the pass rush is it's not to this par that we have paid these defensive linemen in these defensive ends to perform for this team. It is imperative that they play, or else this is going to keep occurring. We're getting gashed in the run, and we're getting hit down the middle, and we're getting beat in the trenches. And what is happening on offense when it comes to the run game? We are getting beat in the trenches, and we cannot run the ball. Going down the middle is not working. I said that the Lions run game was not going to work, and sure as hell, it did not. Mike, stop it. Please stop it. I don't know what else to stop. When it comes to special teams, I know that Agnew, he let it bounce, and it rolled back 10 yards. I don't know what's going on there. There was a lot of clock management that was poor as well. When it comes to taking the timeouts, it was curious. It was a question mark. It was a question mark about him calling the pass interference call. Should he throw in the flag? It's hard for me to determine that personally because every flag has gone against us. But I guess I don't know that one. I don't know 100%. Folks, get those likes up. I see we have 29 and 4 down. I am not sure where the 4 downs going from here.
It's gonna be a whole lot of stuff down because people don't want to hear the truth. What they want to hear is the referees' fault. They want to hear it's the referees' fault. But I'm telling you, you can't keep blaming the referees when your team is not scoring points. How many touchdowns did they put on the board today? How many? How many touchdowns did they put on the board? I got people in here calling me the B word. I'm talking BS. Yeah, I'm talking BS. It's a 60-minute game. A 60-minute game where they had every chance to just destroy the whole game plan for the Green Bay Packers.
But I am concurrent with what Truth Teller says. There needs to be accountability, and there has to be. This is a multi-billion-dollar business, and we're not just talking about football itself. We're talking about ads. We're talking about fantasy football. Money's on the line throughout the United States and the world. We're talking about Vegas. There is so much money on the line fiscally and economically, and by doing this, it's degrading the product. It is absolutely degrading the product. And how does individuals such as myself do I want to make bets? Absolutely not when I see this. And accountability needs to occur. And that's an individual from me who is in the school of business. I went to school, and it's imperative you have accountability on all levels. And I just don't see accountability right now. And it is me as an individual who's watching the product. It's frustrating. It is frustrating. I see people saying stop watching. Look, for me to say I'm going to stop watching the NFL, it's going to be that's would be a little overdoing it for my choice. I know the XFL is coming up here, and this is one of the things they wanted to bring up. Now, does that happen? I don't know, but I do believe in accountability, and the plays that made, we did not score touchdowns at all, and that's ultimately what killed us.
Listen, and I'm making sure I get everybody in it because I want to make sure I give everybody a chance to talk. But I mean, this is what I'm saying right here, man. Was it the referee's fault when it's 12 men on the field? That's on the referees.
Horrible.
That's on the referees.
That was the most horrible.
That call right there started the momentum.
Oh man, that was horrible. That's
on the referees. I'm getting called a B word. I don't know the F I'm talking about. Tavon Wilson balled out. Don't want to listen. You know what? I'm not even a Packers fan. Rage MK. You're a Packers fan, right? You're a Packers fan.
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay,
sir. Yes, sir.
Rage, did you see number 32 for the Detroit Lions? Did it look like he wanted to tackle your running back, Williams? Did it look like he wanted any parts of Williams in that game to you?
I don't think nobody really wanted any parts with him because he was running all day, and I originally thought, like I told y'all in the pregame, watch out for Aaron Jones, but I low key slept on Jamal Williams. Aaron Jones was doing horrible, and Jamal Williams, he said, you know what, you want to play around, let me step in. And when Jamal Williams was in it, he just wasn't playing no games. He was steamrolling folks. Honestly,
you know what I found funny though, Rage? You know what I found funny?
What's that?
I have told people from the very get-go that Luke G will always come on here and tell y'all the truth. I will always come on here and tell y'all the truth. I know if y'all gonna get mad at me, I can expect it. But I'm gonna always come on here and tell y'all the truth. Now, I got people saying I'm on some other stuff. No, I'm not. It was too much stuff that happened. How many touchdowns did we have? How many drop passes on crucial downs did we have? That's not on the refs. We got to put points on the board. We settling for field goals. You can't win a game taking field goals. I don't care about the penalties. Listen, they could have called a pass interference on us a few times in that game. The referees blew those calls. Green Bay had some bad calls. Rage, am I wrong? Did Green Bay not get some calls too? That was like, dang, why they ain't call that?
Yeah, they had some questionable ones. I'm
just saying.
Yeah, Jerry Davis just pushed them.
I mean, just straight push dog right in front of the referee, no flag. But we gonna blame the referees? Why? What we gonna blame the referees for? 22 points? How many? Listen, the defense got you 3 turnovers. 3 turnovers.
And 2 of them was by the same person, which made me so mad. But go ahead.
Three turnovers. You got 9 points off of 3 turnovers in good field position. You come out with the most beautiful flea flicker play I've ever seen, and you get a field goal.
Yeah.
That's on the referees.
I knew it was gonna be a game when they pulled that stunt. Yeah, that had me on my seat.
They came back the second drive, dropped a dime over the
another
shoulder.
one. I was like, bruh, is DJ Cali around? Because they is dropping down. It was ridiculous. But honestly, as a Green Bay fan, I'm nowhere near happy with this win. And it's I don't know, man, but I'll let y'all continue. Then I'll wait my turn.
I'm just saying, all I want to do is this. Before y'all start calling me crazy, before y'all start calling me nuts, understand something. There was too much that happened prior to those calls. This is my problem, people. There's no way from the game that I watched that those 2 calls should have even mattered. We should have been put that game away. We came out with the right attitude. We should have been put that game away. I watched that game, and the entire time I was sending messages to Rage like, "Uh-oh, it's in trouble." When we supposed to win up 17-0. We made it 13-0. Can't even get it in. Can't get it in. But we gonna blame it on the refs.
Mm.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna lie like that. Y'all wanna put it on the refs? Y'all can put it on the refs. Lou G not putting it on the refs. I don't want to hear the ref theory. Lou G can't buy the ref theory. Too much happened prior to the ref theory. I'm sorry. It's just too much happened. If we're gonna blame the refs, let's blame the refs all the way. Okay? Let's blame the refs all the way. All right? But the problem is we can't get there first without going through all the stuff before that happened. Carl, what's your take on what happened in this game?
Oh man, it was so much stuff wrong with this game. Like I can't even think of all the stuff that was wrong with this game. But like, cause like at the beginning, like I love the flea flicker play, but like I was still like I felt like something hadn't been done yet because we missed so many opportunities in the red zone. Like literally, like the first 3 drives we were in the red zone, and only one of them were touchdowns and the rest were field goals. Like that's not acceptable. Like and then. The rest. They missed calls, but like just like you said, the game should have been put away before the rest calls. I mean, like the Marvin Jones pass interference. That was a pass interference, but we still had 3 opportunities to score a touchdown before that. So the game should have been put away way before that. And then on defense. The defense played our hearts out, man. They didn't get much pass rush, but besides that, they played their hearts out in coverage. We got 3 turnovers. We got 1 on special teams and 2 on defense. What can you ask? Like the offense has to whatchamacallit? They got to execute. And then just like I said in last show, in one of the shows I was in, I said the Lions need to close out this game to win this game. If they don't close out this game, they won't win this game.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about the game, man.
And to me, it just boils down to this simple fact, man. And I know y'all don't want to hear me say this. I know y'all don't want to hear me say this. That is not the referee's fault. Y'all know y'all don't want to hear me sit there and say that this is on the Lions. I know y'all don't. But what I'm trying to point out to you is this. We know the officiating is bad. You have to play past that. You have to.
We're the Lions. You got to expect bad officiating.
It's not even matter if the Lions. You just have to put the game away to where officiating don't matter. Put the game away. Just go out and score a touchdown. You needed 1 touchdown. 1. You took an almost 50-yard field goal. It might have been. No, what? I take it back. It was a 50-yard field goal. And instead of you running a stretch play with the 3 stretch plays you finally ran in late in the half, those 3 stretch plays that they ran, I promise you, they picked up big yards. But what we do the whole game? Dive. And then do what again? Dive again.
Luke, let me ask you a question right quick, man.
Then talk to me.
Because I like your enthusiasm. Like I get it, okay? The Lions should have scored more touchdowns. No one's going to argue there, okay? You can't win games winning field goals. But let me ask you this, man. When the Lions scored those field goals and hold the Packers to 0 points off of those field goals and then miraculously get 3 and outs, but due to penalties, they get second and third chances, your defense gets tired after that. How are you supposed to stop that once you already stop it 2-3 times consistently?
How you supposed to stop it? By never being put in this situation.
Yeah, but when your defense goes out there, Coleman played terrific, okay? He had a great game. We stopped Aaron Rodgers multiple times, but the refs gave the Green Bay Packers multiple looks to score against this team. You can only do so much when you stop them so many times, because sooner or later, when you play against a guy like Aaron Rodgers, on these bogus calls, they come back and hurt you. And it's not like they were bad calls.
But let me ask you this, though. Was it a bad call when it's 12 men on the field that gives them a chance to score again? That was on the line? That was on the refs?
That's not the one I'm talking about.
I know. Y'all want to focus on the last 2. See, I don't want to focus on the last 2.
The last 2 are the most important. That's why.
That's
the last 2. Listen, this is the difference between.
The last 2 decided the entire game.
The last 2 don't even matter because guess what? The game should have been put away before those calls.
And I'm going to disagree with you because
I respect that.
Every Lions game that we have won this year has been because of our defense. Every Lions game that we have won, our offense has underperformed. And once again, underperforming offense, our defense playing great. We got the play. We stopped Rodgers. We sacked him. Game over. Lions going on the plane home with our defense winning us another game. And they call one of the worst calls I've ever seen in my life. And then we stop them again, and they call it again. How can you overlook that? The Lions have not been winning games with offense.
And it was so bad.
Okay,
There's two doofuses up in the booth are calling them. And the one dude's name is Booger.
Listen.
The people in the booth is like, this is ridiculous.
Listen. Mars is landing. Everybody who's in the chat right now, that's 172 people in the chat. Y'all know I love me some y'all because we can talk football. That's what this community is about. It's about being able to talk football and being able to have an open forum to have this conversation. But I want you to understand something. Even with those calls, I watch our head coach mismanage 4 minutes of clock. Let them sit on the goddamn clock and then decide to call a timeout after the 2-minute warning. Huh?
And
But then you
all
this,
and we still stop them. And they call the call. I don't want to hear it. That was a sack on third down. Listen.
Well, listen. I tell you what. Y'all go ahead and accept the referee thing. I ain't buying it. I'm sorry. That game should have been over.
when it comes to a football game, we have to look at everything. Football is the game of inches. Now it's imperative that we call out the Lions for their mistakes, as they should improve and learn upon their mistakes. But also, if other people make mistakes like the referees, we need to call them out on that.
I agree with that.
What they did was not only was it bad calls, but it was absolutely atrocious calls.
I agree.
I am the first one to give TJ Hawkinson. Why didn't you not catch that ball? If you've seen my live stream with that 12 men on the field, angry. Yeah. But when it comes to trying to go after the ball, when it comes from the safety, and he gets called for a 15-yard penalty, and then when it calls to the hands to the face twice, when it on plays that it would have stopped it for a punt, that would have happened. And these are imperative. We call out the Lions. Absolutely. I am the first one to call them out. But what the referees are doing is changing the outcome of games. And it needs to be called out. And it needs to be put in their face. And this stuff needs to get better and come to an end. It's utterly ridiculous because people are losing money financially. It's ruining the product on the field. It's like if we decided to add playoffs to the NFL and bring more teams into the playoffs, I say it'd water it down. If I say we decide to bring more games in the NFL, I say it water it down. When these refs play this way, I say it waters it down and it ruins the win or it ruins the loss. For it ruins the win for the Packers and it ruins the loss for the Lions.
And listen, Mike, I hear you what you're saying, and even right now, Derek Urban, I hope I'm saying this average. I don't know. Luke said refs help, but they shouldn't have mattered. Play past it, play before, play during it. No, that's not what Luke said. What Luke said is, if you watch the game, the Detroit Lions had every chance to put that game away and to do it early on. That's what they did. They had every chance to get it done early on. And what they did was they left the game in the hands of the officiating. That has been my problem. J-Mo, let me ask you a question, J-Mo. How many touchdowns did the Lions score, J-Mo? How many touchdowns did the Lions score?
Dude, the game was on the line.
How many touchdowns did the Lions score, J-Mo?
What's the strength of the team, Luke?
See. So wait a minute. Hold on. So you gonna ignore the question so you can ask your question.
I'm saying that defense won us this game and they stole it from us. It don't matter what the offense did. That's not the strength of the team. Listen
to my question. Listen to my question, J-Mo. How many touchdowns did they put on the board, J-Mo?
How well did the defense play?
See, you don't want to answer the question because you know that
agree with the way that you're asking the question.
You don't gotta agree with it. Just answer the question. The question has a legitimate answer to it, though. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what the strength of the team is. It does not matter. So let me get this straight. Hold on. Let me get this straight. So if the strength, hold on, wait. So if the strength of the team is not the offense, why are you defending them from me saying that they need to start putting points on the board? You can't win games with field goals as we saw tonight.
In spite of all of that, the defense still won us the game. That's why.
No, they did not. J-Mo.
That's what I'm talking about.
J-Mo, let me talk to you for a minute, J-Mo. Okay? I asked you a simple question because I know you can't answer it because you don't want to go with the flow of it. So I'm going to try it a little bit different. Rage. I feel you. You can disagree with it. Everybody can disagree with it, but the facts don't change. Rage.
Yo.
Facts don't change, but you don't
Rage. Now, let me talk to you. You're a Green Bay Packers fan, and you weren't even happy in a win, right?
Negative. Not at all.
What was your problem with your team in a win?
Oh, man. It can start from the beginning of the game. First off, we lost the turnover battle. 3 turnovers, 2 by the same person. You had the botched punt return, and then you had 2 unnecessary interceptions. So honestly, that's what we should have lost that game because I think that y'all beat us in every facet of the game except offense. Now the first half, y'all offense was rolling and went stagnant in the second. After that, that's when Green Bay took over. But before then, I think y'all should have been up at least 24-0 before the half. But I mean, even then, it's just like it was so much going on in that game. You can look at. I agree with you when you say, y'all should have had that game bagged up before, before fourth quarter. Y'all should have had that game bagged up because I don't think y'all even scored in the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken. And if y'all did, y'all only scored 1 time. So that means that would have left y'all 4 field goals. You see what I'm saying? So that's 28 points had you capitalized on all. So that's 35 points right there.
And then take it a step further, Rage. How many times did the Detroit Lions get in the red zone? As a Packers fan, because when Luke say it as a Lions fan, he crazy. How many times did the Lions get in the red zone?
They got in the red zone 3 times, 4 times.
And how many touchdowns did we get?
It's only 1. If you make it to the red zone 3 times, that's 21 points. So to add 21 points to 2 field goals, that's 27.
Wait a minute. Take it a step further. When the score was 10-0.
They had a chance to go up 17-0 if Hawkins had held on to that touchdown.
Wait a minute. Wait 1 minute. You mean to tell me that they actually had a chance to push the lead to 17 points instead of 13?
If it would have went 17-0, y'all would have won. End of discussion.
Oh, yeah, because
that's just how bad we were playing.
Because 17-0 makes it how many possessions?
That's 3.
Oh.
That's a 3-possession game. Easy.
Wait, but 13-0 makes it how many possessions?
2 possession game.
And what did y'all do after we scored 13 points?
We was for the kick a field goal, but they got caught with 12 men on the field, and we only needed.
How many people?
12.
That was on the referee. No, Rage. That was on the referees, Rage. That was on the referees.
I mean, that's just a miscommunication besides somebody who ain't supposed to be on the field. And then that set it up for 7-3. And then y'all actually marched the ball right back down the field.
But you guys are missing the point, though, man. Like, I understand. 12 men on the field, bad. They scored a touchdown on it. That's bad. But that's only the beginning of the game. That's the first half still. This is the second half. This is when the game is on the line. So all that stuff that happened the first 3 quarters is out the window. This is fourth quarter.
No, it's not.
Prime time.
No,
yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because we were winning. We had the game won. It doesn't matter that we didn't execute or all that stuff. Now, should we have? Absolutely 125% yes. We shouldn't have been in this situation. But the matter of the fact is, in reality, we were in this situation. And that the refs did cost us when it mattered.
But you also got to look at what happened. If I'm not, I don't think it's a rule that states that you can't challenge a call inside 7 minutes or something like that in the fourth quarter. That was a bad non-call on Matt Patricia with that pass interference on Marvin Jones. He should have challenged it. I don't know why on earth he didn't, because if they would have, everybody's seen it. It was egregious that they didn't call it. But
see, Rage, that's on the referees. You're right. You can't keep talking about what we didn't do. It's on the referees, because the most important plays was what happened at the end of the game. Forget the fact that was a blatant pass interference call that he should have challenged. Unlike the one he didn't challenge against Kansas City, that one he should have challenged. That's
I
not
agree
on
with.
the
But Luke,
referee.
man, with all
I
the
agree
bad
with you.
things that we did, we
All
were
I
still
know
winning,
is
bro.
that
Like we still had the game
right.
won, even
We
though
threw all the
everything bad
adversity.
we didn't do. We still had it won. Like take that into consideration. Like we played,
I
like in
mean,
my
we
opinion,
literally
to what we're
said
supposed to be,
Aaron
we
Rodgers
played like
they was
garbage,
gonna have
and
to
we
get a
still had it
quarterback.
won.
But the thing is, I'm gonna kind of play devil's advocate. Before you had 3 egregious penalties in the last 7, I think 7, and maybe let's just say 8 minutes. Before that last 8 minutes in the whole game, y'all should have been up 27-13. That's facts. If you go back and look at it, because the Tevin Coleman interception, he got you all the way back down to the 40. The punt return that got botched and y'all recovered it. I think y'all recovered it on like the 35 or 36. So that's 14 right there. So y'all should have had that game
Well,
won.
actually, we was on the other side of the 30, and Coleman was out of bounds, and we were at the 45
That's
of the
still
other
that
side of y'all.
that's still
Coleman
great
was out
field
of bounds.
position. That's still great field position for
I mean,
y'all
we're
team,
on
the
a
way that y'all was
3-minute
moving the
And
ball.
45.
our O-line let Stafford get sacked. I told
I
you,
mean,
if Stafford gets sacked, we lose.
honestly, it was a defensive game. Like y'all wanted the turnover
Right, and
differential. Don't
that's
get me
my
wrong.
point. That's my point through the whole tough game, the defensive battle. We stopped y'all.
Yep, y'all
And
did.
they call a flag. Like how? Like if y'all lost that way, and this happened to us again. This happened in 2015. We stopped Aaron Rodgers. They call a flag. He throws a freaking Hail Mary. Like we cannot just give the refs a pass for this
Yeah, you
at
can't.
all.
Wait, but
Aaron
see,
And
Rodgers
here's
hold on, hold on, hold on.
and here's the only
and we just got
and here
y'all
I
too.
and
think
here,
what you are missing
You
is this though.
cannot do that in
This,
the
is- this
most
is what
pivotal
this
point
is
of the
what
game.
you're missing, J-Mo. You seem to think that I'm giving the refs a pass, and it seems to be the thing. It's not a matter.
I said you were. I said I'm not.
No, I know. I hear it, but what I'm saying is, y'all, it's not a matter of giving the refs a pass. I'm saying that this game should have never. You hear me? It should have never, ever, ever been put in the referee's hands. Not with what we did early on to get in position to just put it away. Just put them away.
but but
Because this
but
is a
here's the
football
thing.
game.
Here's the thing.
Things happen.
Like we sitting here,
Not
we
gonna
we
always blow
talking
your
about
face.
it. We talking about it. We having a conversation about it. But here's just the reality of it. Here's the reality of it all. It's gonna happen again. It's been happening, and it just seems like the NFL cannot find a middleman to they can't find a middleman to agree upon. So it's either two things that's gonna happen at the end of this season after we wrap up everything and then they go back and look at all the calls. Either they gonna have more officials on the field or they gonna make it to where you could challenge just about every single
Yep.
penalty that an official calls,
Yep.
and that's go spell real bad for the game because now you forcing now you forcing head coaches into decisions. Okay, do I want to challenge this, even though that this is in the first quarter and is really egregious, and I know it is, or do you give them more flags to throw, more challenge flags to throw? Like, what do you do? That's why it's going to continue to happen because it's too many nerves to try to combine all at once. You can't do it. And like I said, it really hits home when it happens to your team. Trust me, when Clay Matthews got flagged for that roughing the passer last year that caused us to tie with the Minnesota Vikings, and then he got flagged the very next week, which cost us a game. I was pissed. Don't get me wrong, but it happens to your team. It just hurts a little more when it happens to your team. But it's been happening. It's already happened
Right.
throughout this season.
Yeah, the officiating has been bad the whole season. I'm not. I mean, but the thing is you have to be able to understand that there was I think it was Alex Paul. Yeah, it was Alex Paul who says football has 4 quarters, and I'm like, it does, and I totally get it. I totally get what you're saying about the 4 quarters and everything. But I just look at this game, and I kept seeing us run dive after dive after dive and mismanaging the clock and drop passes and drop touchdowns and taking field goals. And I walked away with the idea saying to myself, we're going to lead this down to the hands of the referees. I see it. And sure enough, it came down to the hands of the referees. Now, you certainly don't want the game to end on that call. But before that, We got them off the field, and then they gave up 12 men on the field, which gave them a chance for the touchdown. They would have took 3 there.
It would have been 13-3, yep.
It would have been 13-3 with a chance for us to score again to make it 20-3. We miss opportunities. The Lions going to tell you they miss opportunities. And they're not going to blame the referees, and I don't even think it got anything to do with them being diplomatic as much as it has some more to just look at the fact that they left a lot of football on that field. It do. And I'm not – and Luke, do we deserve better officiating? Yes, we do.
Of course.
The NFL as a whole need better officiating. Yep. Think about this. Put it this way. We know the officiating been bad because guess what happened? They turned around after all of that, and they literally let the Saints lose and the Rams go to the Super Bowl because they knew it was wrong. So we know officiating has been bad. But see, the difference between that Saints game and our game was the Saints had scored touchdowns. The Saints had put themselves in position to do it. That was a deciding factor. We made so many mistakes prior to our deciding factors. You know, and I'm not sitting there absolving the refs. I just don't put this game on the ref as much as I felt that the Lions don't get to, like, they just should have never been they should have never been in that position. Crystal Subject says, Luke G, was that a pass interference? The one on you talking about Marvin Harrison? Yes.
Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones. Yes, they should have. He should have thrown a flag.
Egregious. Yep, 100%. They should have threw it.
He should have threw the flag.
I was really surprised that they didn't throw it because his whole hand was wrapped around the man's chest way before the ball got there. And I told y'all before, Will Redmond, he the one who shot us in the foot with the Philadelphia Eagles with the 2 touchdowns on the tight ends. Man, I'm telling you, dude. I don't know why I honestly don't understand why Mike Pettin keeps Adrian Amos in the box. I understand it because you don't want like a rookie up there and he make a mistake and then you go for a big run. But at the same time, like, yo, you need veteran play back there in times like that. Because if they would have called that, all y'all would have had to do was get a field goal and then get a stop, and y'all would have won the game. But it's just, man, it's
so simple.
He Marvin Jones had him beat.
Micro Mike, man. I mean, I Micro Mike said the WWE is more accountability.
He's stupid. And they fake.
Wow. Damn,
now, listen, this one right here, Marcus Willis. This right here, that was a BS penalty right there. That penalty on him, that was a BS penalty. There was a lot of BS penalties in this game. I'm not going to knock that. But I'm telling you, man, before we even get to the lotto, man, we should at halftime the score should have been 24-0.
What is the worst games that you remember throughout being a Lions fan? I can tell you the ones that are worse for me. The Dallas game, the no pass interference. The Golden Tate game with the Falcons. The game in Chicago where Calvin Johnson caught the ball. What are those games in common? It's not the fact that we lost the game, but it's how it came down to these penalties. If I want to lose, I want to lose fair. If I win, I want to win fair. So I can just judge the play on the field. I understand referees are going to make mistakes here and there. However, accountability needs to be done. And I'm not talking about putting more referees on the field, anything like that. I'm talking about they need to have a grading system, and it needs to be graded correctly. And if you play a piss-poor officiating game like it happened tonight or any other game, since this is a multi-billion-dollar business, these people should be happen to what would happen to me. In my job, I work in the health industry. If I make mistakes, it will cost me my job. If I was to do that performance like out there today in my job, I would definitely be in the unemployment line.
Well, see, I don't think that's fair because you got to look at how many actual officiating teams there are in the league. It may surprise a lot of people, but it's really not that many. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. When you got all these 12 o'clock games going on, sure. But if you're going to punish these refs, like, with their jobs, that means that you actually have to take time to fully find somebody who understands the game to a T. I'm talking about they know everything to a T, and then you have to trust their what's the word I'm looking for? You have to trust their word on an actual field. These refs that are calling these games, they have 8, 10, 15 plus years in referees. You can't throw a rookie referee out there, because if you throw a rookie referee out there and he calls something or he doesn't call something, then that's a whole nother argument for a whole nother day.
But when you
Then
look at a grading system when it comes to referees, it's not just one game. You'll notice it's the same team of referees that make the same mistakes. It happened a couple games ago with the Lions. It was the same referees that made the mistake with the Saints game, and it continues to see poor grades by specific same referees. If you're continually to make an F grade, an F grade, an F grade, there needs to be accountability. Is there going to be issues here and there? Absolutely. But if you're constantly making a mistake, I can tell you in my industry, if I was failing this much at my job, I would definitely be on the unemployment line. And I can tell you what, I get graded every month. It's imperative that I have to have a good grade, because if I don't have the ability to work at home, work at other offices, and I will not have the ability to help patients out.
I mean, like I said, I get it, man. I do. I get it. I think Crystal. I want to say it was Crystal that she hit on something that I think stood out. The Vegas thing. It's interesting to me, and this is. I mean, it's a huge thing, but it's interesting to me. She pointed out the Vegas thing. How the point line. I think it was 3.5.
Yeah.
They win by 1. A lot of people lost money tonight. So
This is all I want to say. This is all I want to say. It's been a minute. What's up, everybody? I just got one thing to say. You could agree or disagree. It is a divisional game. Rage, nice to meet you, Packers
Nice
fan.
to meet you, brother. Yes, sir.
Just admitted the same thing. Neither team played a picture perfect game.
At all.
Nope.
When do the NFC North ever blow each other out unless they starting quarterback out? When do they ever play perfect against each other?
Whew.
I don't care what mistakes you made before the game, all the way up to the last couple minutes of the game. Whatever happened in there happened. If the game is close, it should come down the middle. No calls should come out and turn the game over. Yeah, the Lions did do nothing. They scored 1 touchdown. That's a damn shame. But you know what else is a darn shame too? They got 3 turnovers. You know what's a shame? T.J. Hockenson did drop that touchdown pass. You know what else is a shame too? Sean Robinson, his face mask getting messed up. Like last week, carry on and getting face mask last week. What about that? Last time we played, we lost to the Chiefs. And guess what? We praised the Lions because they fought hard in that game, just like they technically did tonight. But at the end of the day, the officiating made certain calls that can go and determine the game depending on when time it is and when part of the game is going on. If it's a third down and you get off the field, but they call a phantom flag out of anywhere possible, and then it gives them a new fresh set of downs and they score, you cost us that touchdown because the defense could have been tired. Already got a break, but no flag, bring them right back on. And that's what ticks me up about the rest. It's not about tonight's game. It's just about what I see in every game. I'm sick and tired of seeing the referees make these phantom calls. It's getting annoying. It makes me not even want to watch football.
It's like,
okay, so can I ask a question? I
but-
want to flip it real quick. I want to see the responses in the chat and from you guys. And by the way, we need to get them likes up. We got 161 watching, but only 70 likes. But anyways, so let's flip the script real quick. So let's just say all the points was scored in the first half. If those 3 penalties happened in the first half, would we be having this conversation about it right now? If all the points were scored in the first half, and nobody scored in the second half, and those 3 penalties happened at the end of the first half, would we be having this conversation? I don't think that we would.
No, we
Why?
wouldn't.
Because it happened it happened in the first half. But the fact that it happened in the final 8 minutes of the game, and you say that that's the deciding factor of the game, that's where it kind of can get iffy. Because if they happen in the first quarter, if it happened in the first half, you could say, oh, okay, well, those changed the whole outcome of the game. Well, then you would be wrong because they had a whole another 30 minutes to try to score, but nobody scored.
Right.
So, I'm just looking at it like that.
I'm going to say this too, though, before I get off, because I got to get up. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say this real quick before I get up. I do got to get up early. He has a good point about that. But here's the thing why I feel like I'm coming honest from the heart about it. Because remember the Eagles game, when I seen Miles Killebrew make that play on special teams, I said that should have been flagged.
Yeah.
I didn't agree with that. I didn't agree with that at all. Some people
Mhm.
said, no, it wasn't. No, it was.
Nah,
No, it
he
was
straight
a face
grabbed his
mask.
face mask.
Yeah, he straight grabbed his face, man. I called it. It should have been a call for that. I don't like it when they miss calls on us. If we did some got away with it, call us for it. But what I'm saying is, if you know that this man, like they said, Trey Flowers been using the same type moves for years and never got
Yeah,
called for it. Why
they
all of a
did say
sudden get
that.
called for it now?
They did say that. They said he was using
Why
it for like
now?
7 seasons. Yeah,
You should. You know what they should have did, Rage? You know what they should have did? They should
What's
just
that?
never call the penalty. Even if that means they grabbed his face mask too, I would have just never threw the penalty flag because you know
I
that's
mean,
a
really,
divisional
it should
game.
have been.
It's
You
a
know what's
divisional
funny?
game.
You know what's funny though? I heard somebody say this too earlier. They was talking about the first touchdown that the Lions got. They claimed Kerryon never got in. I'm like, how much do you need him to be in? He looked like he was into me, and the fans in their eyes felt that he never made it in. They felt that was a fourth down.
In my honest opinion, he didn't get in either, bro. That's me. They say the ball has to break the plane. All I've seen was his helmet break the plane. I'm gonna go back and watch it, but that touchdown, I don't think it should have been a touchdown. Honestly, that's not coming from a Packers fan. That's coming from a football fan. They replayed it, and like I said, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna try to watch it from
I'm
every
just
angle.
saying, like the officiating was horrible. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, the officiating was horrible. And I get it, and King, if you want to get on, let me know, man. I'll send you a link so you can join us if you want to jump
I
in the
mean,
conversation. Just simply
No,
let me know.
every quarter do count. I ain't saying the quarters don't count.
No, right. Yeah, we're not saying the quarters don't count. Here's my take, King. Here's my take, people. My take is this. I saw a game where for the first quarter the Detroit Lions dominated. The
all 3
domination
phases.
on every phase. The problem was they just kept taking field goals. And I'm like, okay, we took some field goals. Then the second quarter, I'm like 12 men on the field. We get them off the field, and I'm like, yes. Then I'm like 12 men on the field. That I didn't even want Jim Caldwell because he couldn't get the right number of people on the field. I'm like, how do you get that penalty on what was going to be a field goal? They scored a touchdown. That made it 13-7. Then they took it around. They took it around after that. We had another chance to go and score again. Got down there, and what we do?
field goal.
No. We got a false start that started the drive.
Oh, yeah.
So now we punt. They take a field goal. We go into the half 13-10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
All right.
Send the link to King.
I'm gonna send it to your Twitter.
I mean, the thing is, there's just a lot of mishaps. Like me, like how I saw, like I was mad at the Lions' execution, and I was mad at the refs because when I was watching the game, like we were up the whole game, but I still wasn't I still wasn't confident because I felt like we left a lot of points on the board still.
If you
But
want
still-
my honest opinion,
but-
I don't think TJ was fully 100% because
Yeah, I don't either.
it surprised me as a
I
Packers
don't know what the hell
fan
he was doing.
that the drop TD in the end zone. I mean that's gravity. You really can't. The way he fell and the way he was holding the ball, it was gonna come out. But they did not utilize him as much as I thought that they would.
Nope.
It's something wrong. I think it's something wrong with him. I know he cleared concussion protocol, but I think they was trying to play it on the safe side a little bit because he didn't look like the TJ that I had seen the first 4 games that y'all had played. I was like, okay, this man probably finna have a crazy game, especially since Darnell is out. And our secondary is a little bit, shallow, but it was something wrong with TJ. And y'all OC, he need to have a serious sit down with Matthew Stafford because I don't know why after the running game wasn't working, I would have abandoned it. Period. Because
but listen, it wasn't even that it wasn't working. They just kept calling dives.
Yeah. They was running a lot of insides. They didn't do
Why?
They didn't do any outsides or nothing. And they didn't really use the 2 tight ends like I thought that they would, which is really crazy to me. But once I seen that the run wasn't working, that second half, it would have been straight Matthew Stafford because Matthew Stafford, he was dropping dimes all night long. That pass on that what was it? Was it Marvin Jones on that outright against Kevin King when he dropped the ball? But he stretched out for it. That was one of the
You
best.
talking about Kenny Galladay? That's Kenny Galladay.
Yeah. That was Kenny Galladay. That was, and I'm not kidding you. That was one of the
he
best
had to catch
throws
that.
I've ever seen in my life. When you talk about, and it was blanket coverage, like King was all over him. But when you talk about a pass that only the receiver can catch it, that was literally where the only the receiver could catch it. That was one of the best throws that I've ever seen Matthew Stafford throw. Period.
Yeah.
And it just made me mad that they, you know, as a Packers fan, I was happy. Don't get me wrong, but if I'm a Lions fan, I'm thinking like, why on God's earth do these boys keep giving Matthew Stafford opportunities? Because he was carving them up. It's
What up,
just
though, King?
What's going on, gentlemen?
What's going on, man?
what's up,
Hold
bro?
on, man.
All right, King, I got the people upset, man. I got the, cause I'm not buying this. I'm blaming it on the ref thing, man. I felt like the Lions should have put this game away, bro. This game should have been put away way before we got to the referee problem. Yeah, and even Don Burr, he say Luke act like we got this top 10 offense. I'm not acting like we got a top 10 offense. I don't know how we get in the red zone so many times and keep taking field goals. That's what I don't understand. But the reason I wanted you to come on, because they want you to talk to me, man. I'm just not buying the referee situation. I can see how, the referees play their little part, but I feel like where were the rest of my points at?
And then to kind of debunk what Don Burr said, y'all actually do have a top 10 offense. Y'all ranked 8th in passing, but I'm gonna let y'all keep going.
Yeah. Well, can you got to just rejoin back? I don't know what happened, but listen, now MacArthur says, Luke, you be on some bull, bro, for real. I'm not been on no bull, man. Listen, if you just go through and watch that game, the Lions came out, they did a flea flicker. I wish Kenny Galladay was a little bit faster, but hey, it is what it is. He get down there. We should have scored a touchdown. We took a field goal.
That was a TD. Yeah,
that should have been a touchdown.
If Jair didn't have 4.2 speed, oh yeah, that was a TD. Because King got beat. I don't think King was at 100% this game either. But yeah, King just got destroyed, and they didn't have no safety help over the top. If Jair didn't have legit 4.2, 3 speed, it would have been a TD, and I would have been like, shit.
King, can you see this message right? It says you shouldn't have to blow a team out to win, otherwise the ref will screw you. Get the F out of here. That's not what I'm saying. That's not.
But that's the narrative. I feel like, man, it's like we gotta blow.
Let's go, King.
Yeah, we can hear you. King, go ahead, man.
And before you go, bro, and King, before you go, I'm gonna debunk what you just said. You said you don't need to score a touchdown.
No, that wasn't him. No, that was somebody else.
No, who was it though? Because I want to debunk what they said.
I gotta find a little comment, but we'll get
That's
back.
fine.
I'm gonna find it for you. Trust me. I'm gonna find. I'm not buying that.
King,
before King even. Okay, I'm gonna let King talk.
Yeah,
but I just want. Go ahead.
Yeah, like I said, everybody entitled to their opinion, but like I said, I'm not the one to go back and talk about the first and the second quarter. The NFL is a game of inches, and we watch Super Bowls be won in the last moments of a football game. We watched them be lost recently in the last moments of a football game. Yeah, you can say that the Lions should have scored here and there, but you can also say you could have took footballs out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. Multiple occasions where you could have took the football out of his hands where he wouldn't have the opportunity to put points up. So it can go either way. The fact is that the refs were absolutely horrible, not on 2 calls, but multiple calls.
For the whole game,
interference.
Right?
Yes, just the whole game. They were horrible. But I'm not going to sit here and just disregard the fact that everybody with half a brain knows that the refs caused the Lions this game. You can go on Twitter right now. You go on any social media right now. Any professional football players' Twitter right now and see what they say. Anybody with a righteous mind knows that they gave the Packers that game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they can have those strong views, man. I'm telling you, they can have those strong views. But the way I'm looking at it is everything happens in process, and we know that there's 4 quarters. Like you said, there was bad play calls across the entire game for both teams. But I guarantee
no, it was a landslide. It was a landslide.
Let me ask you this. If the Packers had lost this game, do you think that their fan base would have been talking about the referees cost them the game?
Absolutely not, because the Lions stiffened up their defense in the second half, and they played winning football.
So Rage MK is a Packers fan. right, Ray?
Mhm.
Did you think Kerryon Johnson scored that touchdown?
No.
Did you
That's
So
just
think?
me.
when I
That's just
seen his
me.
elbow and his arm, the one that had the football in it, from the top angle camera that's sitting right over the goal line, yes, that football broke the plane.
But see, here's the thing about that. Here's the thing about that rule. The ball has to break the plane, not the player. The ball was tucked into his arm the whole time. I did not see him stretch out or anything on any angle that they. In the top angle was especially true. His helmet went over, sure, or it was right there, but the ball did not break the plane. I
I
didn't
don't
see.
know.
I didn't see.
Maybe,
I'm telling you, I didn't see the ball break the plane, and I
hey,
hope.
to
Go
each
ahead.
his own. I didn't see the same thing you saw. I saw his arm with the elbow and the ball tuck go over that line. It
I
touched enough for
Did,
him to get a
Well,
touchdown.
I'm gonna have to go back and see it, and hopefully, like I said, I can find some more angles.
well,
But
But I didn't see it break the
but
plane.
I'm even more angry
I
at
just
the
want to see
fact
some.
that
I
for
just want.
how do you call illegal hands to the face? Yeah, no,
They was,
it's not even that.
those were some
It's not
bad
that.
calls.
How do
Those
you
were some bad
call
calls.
look, you standing right there. You standing right there.
King, you cut out.
He probably hit a dead zone. It'll probably pick back up. No, I mean those were horrible calls.
I
Yeah,
mean,
the hands to the
Oh,
face
there you
was
go. He back.
yeah, the hands to the face was ridiculous. The reason why it was ridiculous, it's so ridiculous because you had guys right next to him on the Packers offensive line with their hands in players' face masks. And you're a ref and you're standing right there. You're standing there.
yeah.
It's ridiculous, dude.
But see,
There's no way
I think
around
that
it.
you got a point. You got a point. But I think, and like I said, this is the Green Bay Packer fan talking. But I think Bakhtiari did a masterful job of selling it. And if you look at the actual replay, it looks like by the way Bakhtiari was, his head was pushed back all the way. It looked like it was an illegal use of hands. Bakhtiari sold the hell out of
And
those
Oh,
two calls.
you
and
know what that
also,
remind me of? That remind me of 2016 Graham Glasgow versus Chicago Bears when his head got pushed back. They called it on him.
And,
Yeah.
and, and you know what? You know what else? You know what else? It vaguely reminds me of when Rogers threw that Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
He,
Yeah,
he
when he
wasn't
was
he wasn't
granted.
he wasn't even face mask. He just hit the ground, and his face mask was just it was
I mean,
unloose, so it
I
just
mean,
turned a little bit to the side.
and Bakhtiari on that last play, it was really hands to the face on him though, because his hands were right in
Yeah,
Trey
he had
Flowers'
his
face.
hands on Trey Flowers' face.
I just wonder, like, this is how I look at it. I just wonder if the Lions just put the ball in the end zone. It's not a perfect game. It's saying put the ball in the end zone. It was so many crazy things that the Green Bay Packers did that was perfect for us. The weird number 10 dude, Shepard, who couldn't catch a
Oh
cold.
my God!
He
Man,
was giving the
Oh
game away.
jeez!
man.
Yes, you got a great point. I agree with you. They could have put the ball in the end zone. But like I said, you took 4 opportunities away from Matthew Stafford to touch the football, and you gave him to Aaron Rodgers. And then on top of that, if the Detroit Lions are in the red zone, they're in the red zone, you have to make the right freaking calls. That is a scoring situation.
So
Period.
so when you say that they took 4 possessions out of Matthew Stafford's hand,
The pass interference.
look, and I'm
The,
a
the,
and I'm a
the
rebuttal that with Tavon Coleman got y'all inside the 45, and then that punt return got y'all well within the
You mean
30.
Justin Coleman?
Yeah, Justin, was it Justin number 27? Yeah, Justin
Yeah,
Coleman.
Justin Coleman.
Justin Coleman got y'all within the 45, and then that punt return got y'all within the 30. So those 4 possessions that they took away, y'all could have had 14 points. So that 14
Talk
points
to
that
him.
y'all could have went up
Talk
by,
to him.
I'm
those
not.
those
See
4 possessions wouldn't even matter because this
man.
was a defensive game. So
What
out
y'all
of
got to
those,
understand, and that you just made my point. What I'm trying to get across to y'all is not about which team put the most points up on the board. I've seen people win Super Bowls with defense, with low scoring games. We just watched the Packers beat the Bears 10-3. Make the right call is the biggest point right now. It's not about how many times you got in the end zone. You win football games But it's a game of inches, dude. It is a game of inches.
I agree with that.
You're right. It's a game of
agree,
inches,
but
I always
but
wonder.
when you have four red zone trips and you only get one touchdown out of it, it doesn't bode well. And to answer whoever
and listen, let me add on to that really quick, Rage. In that game that you gave King for the Packers versus Bears, the Packers had to put the ball in the end zone still.
Once.
that
Right,
right,
but
they didn't. But that was the last
How
time.
many
that they got-
times? How many times did the Lions put how many times the Lions scored a touchdown?
Once.
Okay.
But you
How many,
also,
how many, how many times? How many times did the Bears score?
but you also got to look at we in week 6 versus week 1.
Right.
It was no starters being played in the preseason, so you got to look at that. And then the Packers are a testament to you can't put the ball in the end zone one time and expect to win. We lost to the Eagles. We made 7 red zone trips and only capitalized on 3 of them. How do you make 7? If
That's
seven red zone trips, that's 21 points. If you go and you still lose the game, so you for the Lions, y'all had 5. If y'all would have capitalized on 3, yeah, it's a totally different game. And y'all had the field to do it.
Okay, so my Lions fans, let's go back a week.
Okay.
How many touchdowns did Patrick Mahomes throw?
0.
None.
Did they win the game?
Nope.
No. The referee screwed us, but we still gave them their respect and credit, and we still showed both sides.
But see, and this is where I think you leaving half of the story out. Patrick Mahomes didn't score a touchdown, but the Chiefs had 3 rushing touchdowns.
True.
I mean, that's just what it is.
But
now
I got a free touchdown, and they took a touchdown away.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. They took a touchdown, which would have won us that game. What I'm telling you is when they take plays away like that, it hurts you. The Lions did enough scoring that game, what y'all talking about, the scoring, to win that football game. It didn't fucking matter.
It's a game of inches. It
is a game of inches. If you're an ex-athlete, if you ever play one down of football, you understand where these people are coming from that's on TV and on Twitter right now. Okay, it is a game of inches.
It's imperative. It is imperative to have these individuals do the best calls as humanly possible. What I seen tonight was the worst calls as humanly possible. Okay, I just wonder what would have happened if my foot was up their ass.
You don't make an unsure call. What is that? If you didn't blatantly see it happen, you don't make the call.
I mean, it's just like
did y'all see the offsides?
But guess what? But guess what though? Only on one occasion where they fixed that situation. They know they had it wrong and they fixed it. And even though it was still wrong on them, they picked the flag up against the Lions.
Let me say this because I gotta go. I gotta get up. Can I say these last couple things, man? I'm gonna say it like this. All right, first off, I want Lions fans to ensure that your defense is about to get better because first off, we have a settled-in defense. We start off good, we give us some plays, then second half we shut out. That's what we got right now.
Man, we need a pass rusher.
Right.
I don't think y'all need a pass. Y'all need 4. Y'all got to stop rushing 3 because y'all was getting pressured with 3, but y'all allowed yourselves to get double teamed.
The other thing I want to say, The other thing I want to say, man, is that I know I've been gone. I just had surgery this past Friday. Finally got something pulled out, so I should be returning to y'all soon. I know I've been gone, but thank everybody. I'm out.
Right, man.
Get better.
Man, and listen. Like, this is the thing. I know that, like I said, I know what people are saying. I know what everybody want to point out too. But I just look at it and I just go, man. I'm tired of this. This is the second season under this head coach, and we still getting field goals. Jim Caldwell, 4 years, field goals. 2 years, Matt Patricia, field goals. I'm tired of the field goals, people. I'm tired. I'm just tired of saying field goal. Matter of fact, I don't even want to hear the word field goal.
You know what's worse than that though is referees calling a game. Calvin Johnson touchdown with Chicago. Golden Tate touchdown when it comes to the Falcons. Detroit Lions pass interference call to Pettigrew. Those are the ones that stick with me. The big Hail Mary with Aaron Rodgers where the phantom call came, where the play
Yeah.
continued. That's what pisses me off the worst. It's not the fact that you
It wouldn't
lost.
be as bad if it wouldn't
It
be
would
as
not be
bad
as
if it
bad.
wasn't so much history.
It would not be
And
as
I think
bad.
that's why it's so inflated now. But for me, it's just I'm like why did Matt Patricia
I
challenge
mean,
that pass interference
I
and
Can I
why did
po-
we not? How do we keep getting in that
mean,
red
can I
zone
ask
and not
y'all?
scoring?
the
Can I ask
the
y'all
thing
a
that
question? Go
uh,
ahead. Go ahead.
I
Go
mean,
ahead,
the thing
CFP.
that really made me mad though is just like as a ref, like you're supposed to learn from your mistakes. I mean, it's like the first time that they called the trade flowers, they knew they was wrong. It's like the second time, like you can't make the same mistake. That's my thing. Like you gotta learn from your mistakes.
Okay, so can I ask y'all a question?
Mm-hmm.
So we talking about three egregious calls: the defensive pass interference, and then the two illegals. I'm not
And the
even.
Tracy Walker call.
And
It,
the offsides that was a result in a sack.
Yeah, he
no,
was
no,
way offsides.
no. I'm just talking about that last drive. I'm just strictly talking about that last drive. And those are the three big penalties. I'm not even gonna talk about the defensive pass interference because Matt Patricia, he could have challenged it, but he didn't. So that's a coach's call, whatever. So let's just say those two, and these are Lions. This is a Lions fans question, so I'm asking everybody because I really want y'all input. So let's just say y'all actually get the stop and Green Bay settles for a field goal. They make the field goal, they go up 23-22. Do you think Matthew Stafford, based off of how the game was going, how the defense just put the clamp, it was defense put the clamps on both teams. Do you think Matthew Stafford would have got y'all in the field goal range to win that game?
You know what? I don't even know because sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. I feel if we got a minute, there's always a chance. But even if we would have won this game, I'd have been pissed off because I've been talking about this a whole off season. This has been the same old thing. The referees is ruining the product. It didn't matter if the Lions would have won this game. The call on the field has been so damn bad with such an expensive product of a multi-billion-dollar business. It just mind screws me because how is this possible? How? And this is why I hate monopolies of any sort. And you're seeing a monopoly when it comes to football. And I hope to God, in which I'm sure the XFL won't pan out, but I hope it does. Because as soon as you get a better product in the field, and if their refereeing is much better, it will force the NFL to make better adjustments. Because it's ridiculous. You're destroying the game. You're watering down the product, and you're pissing me off.
I mean, listen,
You
and
just
I'm
need.
telling you, I'm telling you, I think that's why I'm numb to it because I look at it and I'm like, the officiating this whole season has been horrible. I think I did a video showing why Matt Patricia shouldn't have thrown the pass interference flag for the carry on because I was like, they didn't overturn that, but this one was way more blatant because you saw him get there first, and so I thought he should have called a challenge flag on it.
I
He didn't.
mean, and there's still no guarantee that gets overturned because
And
for
it
some
still is no
reason
guarantee that they overturn it because they have not called it consistently.
they never overturned those penalty plays for some reason.
I think they
Yeah.
said they were like 1 out of 8 or some shit like that. Oh,
Now,
excuse my language. One
now,
out of something
Mhm.
when it come to overturning,
Yeah.
calls, PI calls. So yeah, I see where you're coming from. But that was blatant. It was
Tough man Pride, he on my head. He says, now how did they win the game if they made mistakes? Because according to Luke, you can only win if the team is perfect. Nope, that's not according to Luke. According to Luke, Luke says this. Luke says, I saw multiple opportunities before we even got to halftime for the
multiple,
score to do it. And
multiple.
that changes the way that they had to play. We never made them one dimensional. Tavon Wilson act like he ain't want to tackle. Jamal Williams, he acting like Jamal Williams was the second coming of Jerome Bettis or somebody. You'd have thought Tim Brown was running the ball. I'm like, bro, make the
Yeah,
tackle.
hey yo, he a big boy. I'm just saying.
I
That's
get it.
that's a big boy. And his running style, he run reckless. Kind of
Right.
like it reminds me of AP a little bit. Not the player, the running style. He just
But,
runs
but
reckless.
I just look at it like this. I just feel like, to me, I mean, like I said, I don't mind y'all disagreeing with me. The purpose of us having this conversation, why everything came on, and why people are here to talk about it, is because we're going to have different views.
Yeah.
And that's just the fact that we're going to have different views. For me, I feel like the Lions should have never left it in the hands of the referees because we left too many points on the field. We just left too many points on the field. I feel like it's not even about playing a perfect game, but can we get more than 2 touchdowns? Because if you look at the overall view of it, Green Bay scored 2 touchdowns to our 1, and we lost.
Yeah.
Man.
We lost.
I mean, I just still feel like, I mean, like, I agree with you at the same time, but like at the same time, like I see how the refs influence the game because if some of those calls don't happen, like if they make a few correct calls, the game is over. We win the game, you know.
Listen, I feel you, but I'm telling you, to me, all I kept hearing, I had one of the guys made a video about it. Oh, Tavon Wilson had a great game. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, I can't wait to see what your video going to be about Tavon Wilson this week. I mean, that was the slowest reverse I've ever seen in my life. Now, King, swear to God come on, bro. King.
Now listen. Even now that the pictures are starting to pop up now of both instances of Trey Flowers getting hands to the face, but now you got people like Barry Sanders. I mean, going off on Twitter, dude. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, but you know Barry gonna ride with us anyway. Once he got that money back.
You gotta understand. You gotta understand that the veterans that have been playing this game is seeing how it's getting destroyed, and it started with all the defensive, flags they've been getting when they're going after the quarterbacks, this, that, and the other with the head. They see people that have invested interest in this game, and I'm talking about veterans. I'm talking about people that really are into the game. They're seeing the product get destroyed. And it is destroying it. Don't get me wrong. Let's do a WWE comparison. Before WWE, there's WCW, and they both rocked well when they were going. As soon as WCW was gone, the product of WWE went down because it was a monopoly. Now you're seeing this take place with the NFL. There's nothing to fight against the NFL, and they will not make the adjustment. The referee play has been going on for years. And this is what's so frustrating as someone who's invested interest into a product. You want to see the best product on the field. And currently, right now, it is not that.
And listen, I get it. I get it. Again, everybody who want to get on, I promise you I'm going to get y'all on. I might even go live tomorrow and take phone calls and pull people on so we can do it. I ain't, but I just want to try to get people on. Mars, if you want to get on, check your Twitter. I think we're on Twitter. Check your Twitter. I'm trying to get you on real quick. But I'm just saying, I just looked at this game and I do think that it's something going on with Vegas, man. It's something going on. I mean, they just kept changing that point spread, and then the fact that they not only didn't even cover the point spread, 70% of the people had their money on the Green Bay Packers winning this game with 3.5.
Did they?
Yes, 70%.
I don't remember that because I know the articles I was reading. They were saying the money is on the Lions. A lot of people was betting on the Lions.
No, man, 70% had them on there. Now, defensive masterclass says Rick Wagner and Wilson was trash. You can't tell some YouTubers that. Okay.
Yeah, Rick Wagner was trash.
Now, why are we talking about Rick Wagner?
You say you ain't trying to talk about
out of everything that's going on. We talking about Rick Wagner.
You say leave Rick alone.
Man, that's the least thing on my mind right now.
I mean, Rick Wagner gave some plays, but I mean that's not what cost us the game.
I'm looking at they got the screenshot now, fellas, of the touchdown Green Bay scored, and his knee and his elbow. Neither one of the ball is nowhere near the plane, but his knee is down well before he went past the goal line.
Was he touched?
Which one was this?
This is I don't even know his name. He a bum. What is his name? Number 13.
Lazard.
Yeah, Lazard. Yeah, they got screenshots of him up now, and his knee is down, and the ball is nowhere near the doggone goal line.
Can you put him in the chat or something so I can see it? Because
I don't know how to do that, man.
Old school.
I am getting ready to get some sleep, man.
Yeah, hey, listen, and plus we've been on for a minute. I can't even find Mars' name. I don't know, Mars. I can't find your name, bro. What's going on?
Well,
but, man, we've been on for an hour and 15, man. Like I said, we definitely gonna talk about it tomorrow. I don't expect for people to understand my logic of thinking on this. It's just that I'm gonna be a different guy when it comes down to it. You got any final thoughts, CA3?
Man. It was a tough game, man, but I still got faith in the team. I mean, they still showed me a lot of good things about the team, and especially since one of our best safeties was out, and and we still have divisional games coming up. We still have 5 more divisional games, and we still have, and the season is still not over. So,
Okay,
you guys,
Mike, I know you got to get up in the morning. You know I do too. Mike, what's your final thoughts, man?
First off, folks, thank you for hanging out with me during the game. It was a long one for sure. This is not the finish we wanted, and I'm not just talking about wins and losses. When I lose, I want it to be a clean loss. When I win, I want it to be a clean win. This is not what we wanted, but hopefully changes will get made in which it won't. We all know that. So it was cool for Everything King to get on here. With that said, folks, man, 2-2. This is tough sledding. The NFC is very hard. This one hurt bad. This one hurt bad, but it is what it is. Detroit versus everybody, and we move forward. With that said, folks, adios.
All right, and Rage MKR, residential Green Bay Packers subscriber. Final thoughts, man.
Hey man, bottom line, y'all are 0-1 in the division, but y'all still got 5 more games to go. Y'all only got 2 losses, so really y'all are
yeah.
right there in the thick of things, and honestly, you right there in the thick of the NFC. So just keep your heads up, and I enjoyed y'all. I don't know if I'm gonna be back, but trust me, I'll be in the comment section, liking it up and chilling out with y'all boys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man.
And
Appreciate it.
King, okay, yeah, King, you still here? All right. Final thoughts, man. Appreciate you for jumping in last minute. Mars, I still can't find you for some reason on Twitter. I know you on my Twitter, but I don't see you. This is crazy. Send me a message, Mars. Go ahead, King.
Man, pretty much, man. All I got to say is appreciate y'all for letting me join, man. I need to talk to somebody right now. But in the meantime, man, Detroit versus everybody, man. That's. I mean, I can't. If I could brand that on myself, I would. But it's just, man, it's just sickening and it's disheartening to see it over and over and over. You just get tired, man. And it's hard for content creators like me, you, and everybody else, man, to keep making content and trying to inspire this fan base when
That part is
constantly their
hard.
hearts get broken.
Yeah, it's hard.
Annoying. It is so annoying. But yeah, that's all, man.
All right, man. Mars, shoot me a message on Twitter, man. I will get you on. I'm trying to find you on Twitter, and I don't know why I don't have it, man. If not, we'll get on tomorrow for sure. But here's the thing, people. I like to try to end things on a positive note. While we are disappointed and upset in this loss from the Detroit Lions to the Green Bay Packers, I want you to be assured of one thing. Only good things can come in triumph and hardship, and triumphs are made from ashes. What we need to do is make sure that we set ourselves up to look at things with an open mind and a different perspective. And if we do that, we just might find that even though we took 1 loss, as they states, we do still have 5 more division games to play with a chance to win it. It just means that we have a little bit more pressure on us, and make sure that you stay positive. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, don't be no chump. Make sure you subscribe to the members of the DSA. Everything King is also another one, which I'm pretty sure y'all all know. Subscribe to him as well. DVE, Outsiders, and the whole Detroit Lion fan base, the general view. I'm probably gonna forget a bunch of y'all, those of Dion. But don't be no chump. Please do your research, and have a blessed night, man, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all.
Man.